Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books and marketing expert covering the Marvels. The Marvels plan Captain Marvel to be gay, but cut the scene. Let's get into the story. Before we do, please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate you guys. From bounding into comics, rumor. The Marvels originally featured direct confirmation that Carol Danvers and Valkyrie were once in a romantic relationship. The Marvels has not done well, and that's even without having their little gay moment or whatever it was they were going to do to try to bring in that extra LGBT vibe. This reminds me of Lightyear from Disney. Disney decided they would fight back against the man. They were taking on the state of Florida. They had cut out and then put back in a same-sex kiss in 2022's Lightyear. Lightyear was a massive bomb for Disney's Pixar, and probably not because of just the kiss. It was just, what are they doing? You can't use entertainment as some kind of a weapon to strike back at government or the public. But it seems to be what Disney's doing. From Out, Captain Marvel and Valkyrie's romance was allegedly cut from the Marvels. This is going to wind up being quite a story for Disney and Marvel to keep up with if this winds up coming out as true. I think it's true. From Yellow Flash, South Park Pandaverse scared Disney so much, they changed the Marvels. Captain Marvel was LGBT. I believe it. Pandaverse really caught on. Everyone has been talking about it and mocking Disney. But if Disney would have just allowed themselves to laugh at themselves, put it in the movie if that's what you were going to do. Let people respond. Let people talk about it. Admit, yeah, we're just trying to strike back at the man and put as much LGBT stuff in as we can. You can't blame us. Have a big laugh. Maybe that would have helped them. Just be honest. From Inside the Magic, report Marvel to introduce gay romance for Captain Marvel lead. This was a scoop that came out in early August before the movie came out, talking about how, yes, there's going to be some indication that Captain Marvel and Valkyrie had a prior romantic relationship. Now, I don't know why Marvel can't seem to get their gay superheroes right. I saw this one a couple of years ago, and now I just came across it again. Marvel to debut gay Captain America character during Pride Month. Okay, I mean, do you see his foot kicking up at the end over here, if you can see it on your screen? Gay Captain America has a handkerchief and is wearing overalls. Why they design it to be this way? Beyond that, there are other elements to this character you need to see. Now, first of all, I don't know what the final image was for this cover. If his foot is actually cut off at the bottom, it's a terrible design composition. Beyond that, having him have a handkerchief and a pink glove and overalls. I mean, Disney is so busy trying to mainstream LGBT characters in their entertainment. Why do they need to dress them up with pink gloves and overalls and a handkerchief like this? I've never seen a superhero look like this. Why make the characters stand out because they're gay? Let the character be the character if you're serious about doing it. Needless to say, gay Captain America has not really set the world on fire. Can Disney recover the magic? Probably not. Back to bounding into comics. In a film already packed to the brim with odd script choices and narrative misfires, Valkyrie's cameo in the Marvels may have been one of the most surprising. Taking place just after the opening set piece of the film's second act, the scene in question sees Asgard's current king as once again portrayed by actress Tessa Thompson for a brief stop upon Carol Danvers' personal spaceship, the Hootie, responding to the Kree superheroine's request for assistance in relocating a handful of Skrulls whose temporary homeworld had recently been destroyed. Valkyrie beams onto the Hootie in order to personally receive and shepherd said refugees to shelter in her domain of New Asgard. Upon arriving on the ship, Valkyrie is embraced by Captain Marvel, prompting the Asgardian leader to ask the Kree-infused warrior, "Is everything okay?" However, rather than offer any verbal reply, Captain Marvel instead longingly holds Valkyrie in her arms for a brief few seconds before composing herself and thanking her ally for help. "Always," responds Valkyrie, before noting, "I see you finally found yourself a team." Met with Danvers' protestations that the team was unintentional, Valkyrie attempts to calm the Avenger by assuring her, "I've been on some unintentional teams myself. You can stand tall without standing alone. Take it from me, Marv." Informed that the Skrulls are finally ready to travel, Valkyrie then proceeds to close out her time in the Marvels by planting a kiss on Captain Marvel's cheek and wishing her, quote, "May our next meeting be joyful," before flashing back to Earth on the Rainbow Bridge. And while inter-MCU cameos in the MCU are nothing new, this one caused specific confusion among fans due to the fact that Valkyrie's only connection to any of the film's three leads was her having fought alongside Captain Marvel against Thanos during Endgame's Battle of Earth. However, according to noted scooper Can We Get Some Toast, it seems the true explanation for Valkyrie's appearance in the Marvels was actually left on the cutting room floor. Taking to Twitter on November 19th, Can We Get Some Toast alleged that per their sources, and this is a pretty reliable scooper, a lot of us look at Can We Get Some Toast, 3 major plot elements had ultimately been dropped from the final cut of Marvel's latest film. These included Kamala Khan being unable to take off her bangle and subsequently being imprisoned or tortured, her new costume turning into a spacesuit, which would have been used to join Carol and Monica to close the rip in space-time together, and outright confirmation that Captain Marvel and Valkyrie were explicitly together in the past. To this last point, Can We Get Some Toast detailed, quote, "The cut quote was, 'We work better as friends, but Disney are cowards.'" Curiously, should Marvel have gone through with canonizing a relationship between Valkyrie and Captain Marvel, one would have to wonder where it would fit in with the MCU's timeline. After all, right after their first meeting in Endgame, Carol, as per a flashback in her latest outing, spent the next few years until the Marvels traversing the deep recesses of space. With a schedule that packed, one wonders where she'd find the time to enjoy being part of Disney's ever-desperate attempts at rainbow marketing. Of course, when it comes to fitting things into a timeline, Marvel will do whatever they need to do to push their agenda. One thing for sure, the Mary Sue is not happy we didn't get to see any relationship between Captain Marvel and Valkyrie. The Marvels tosses a few crumbs to queer Captain Marvel fans. Make Carol queer, you cowards. I mean, if it's right for the character, sure, go ahead and do it. The problem is there was really obviously no purpose for this character Valkyrie to be involved with the Marvels and be in this movie, with the exception of having this "we used to be gay" scene. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has unfortunately lagged behind a lot of media in terms of queer representation. Loki and Valkyrie are currently the only main MCU characters who are canonically queer. The Marvels continues this trend by dangling hints of Carol Danvers being queer, only to never officially confirm anything. Carol Danvers' sexuality in the MCU remains unconfirmed. As far as we can tell, she is one of the very few female characters in Marvel who never had a romantic relationship with a man. That, combined with Carol's close friendship with Maria Rambeau, led a lot of Marvel fans to interpret her as queer. Monica calls her Auntie Carol, and Maria's dialogue about losing Carol makes it sound a lot like she lost a lover. The Mary Sue's own Chelsea Steiner previously advocated for reading Carol Danvers as queer. This reading of their relationship is further solidified with the reveal that Carol did not come back to visit her friend as she was dying and promised to care for Goose the Flurkin and Monica when she came back from being blipped. Indeed, Monica treats Carol much like an estranged parent, holding her at arm's length out of fear of being hurt again. Despite only appearing in a short cameo in the Marvels, the relationship between Carol Danvers and Valkyrie has stuck with queer fans. Coming soon actually published an explanation for viewers who wondered if Carol and Valkyrie are in a relationship, indicating that the queer subtext is clearly visible to casual audiences. It is especially interesting that Carol is close friends with one of the few canonically queer female Avengers and is openly affectionate with her. However, the cameo is so short that it feels like borderline queer baiting. Quote, "Oh, you like this queer character and this not officially queer character? We'll have them be good friends and kiss on the cheek, but nothing explicit." The kiss on the cheek is perhaps the most ridiculous part, as Marvel reserves kissing almost entirely for established couples. Obviously, there was a scene that they cut. The comic versus the movie. Technically, Carol Danvers is straight in the Marvel comics, having had relationships with many male characters, including Rhodey, aka War Machine. However, it's important to remember that the MCU characters are not one-to-one adaptations of their comic counterparts. In the comics, Carol had nothing to do with Monica or Maria Rambeau and was the best friend of Jessica Jones. That's not the case in the MCU, and therefore, Carol should be allowed to differ from her source material, especially when it enhances the story being told. I have news for the author here, Kimberly Terasaki. Disney's Marvel cares absolutely nothing about the source material for the comics. Pushing the garbage that they've pushed into the comics so they could later then do it in TV and film is about as close as they come to caring about that. They don't care. They will change any of the source material to meet any agenda they feel like meeting so they can go and fight with governments like the state of Florida or their very own fans. In short, Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, is not queer, but she could be if Marvel were willing to make her such. And considering that people seem determined to hate Captain Marvel either way, it would at least give her fans a little more fodder for their fanfics. I don't think Marvel has introduced any other character that has been so poorly received, because this was the character that Marvel used to tell their fans, we are not going to produce the kind of content you would ever like intentionally ever again. They used Captain Marvel. Unfortunately, really, for Brie Larson, she knew what they were doing and she agreed and said, sure, let me do it. She's made inappropriate statements about the press. She's made very inappropriate statements about fans. She's made very inappropriate statements telling people don't go watch the movies. It wasn't made for you. So if they're going to have a character that everyone hates anyway, they may as well have had their fun with it. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Always love to see your ideas. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up and I'll see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.